Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No issue.
Okay.
We can.
Dear participants, I welcome you all for this today's afternoon session. Today we have with us Dr. Nitin Darkunde, sir, who is working as an assistant professor at School of Mathematical Sciences, Swami Ramanand Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded. He is SET and GATE qualified. He has 12 years of teaching experience for PG level. He has specialized in coding theory, algebra, then group theory, and real analysis, and various courses he has taught for the mathematics students. He has published more than 10 papers in various journals and in the various conference proceedings. He has completed 3 major research projects, and one project is ongoing. He has invited for various national and state level conferences and workshop as a resource person. He has chaired 4 sessions as a chairperson, and he has also contributed for the e-content development for Swayam NPTEL online courses. So, dear participants, today we have with us very renowned personality, Dr. Nitin Darkunde, sir. So, I welcome Dr. Darkunde, sir, on behalf of all the research students and behalf of Research Committee Science College, Nanded. So, welcome, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity to interact with research students in this PhD coursework workshop. And shall I start, sir, now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. You may, sir.
Yeah. So let me just share my screen and. Is my screen is visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be talking with some rudimentary facts about research. So this may include how to identify some predatory journals, how to download the research papers from some sources, how to download the books, then how the calculate the what is the impact factor of a journal, what is the H index, what is iodine index, and the way of publishing your paper. So I will go like that, and in between my talk I will ask you some questions. So I want, since I'm a teacher of mathematics, and you know that mathematics cannot be learned in one way. Yeah, so I will be bringing some mathematical facts in between. So I will be interested to interact with you. So whenever you get some doubt, feel free to interrupt me. You can unmute and you can ask me your doubts. And whenever I will ask you a question, you should come forward and try to answer the things. Okay. So we will be talking about why this scientific writing of a research paper is too much important. Okay, so while doing so, I will be sharing some my views about some softwares also. So how does softwares such as there are some mathematical and free softwares like Scilab and then Sage, how they can be useful not only for your earlier days of research, but as soon after finishing your PhD or when you go for a job, how they can be useful. Then another one more software called as a LaTeX. So at the end, I will talk about such softwares also in a brief, even though some of you may be from non-mathematical background, some of you maybe from botany or zoology, but still such kind of softwares are quite easy to learn, and these softwares will certainly give a good trajectory for whatever research you are going to pursue in the next coming years. Okay, so that is the end part of my lecture that will come. So let me just first start with the first thing. So the first thing is that why there is a necessity to of writing, what is the necessity of writing this research paper. Okay, so let me just start with this. So the first thing is that You should be able to independently write a research article, which is a common expectation from a PhD student and as well as early career researchers. Okay, तुम्ही आता सर्वांनी पीएचडी कोर्सवर्कला ऍडमिशन घेतलेलं आहे. पीएचडी कोर्सवर्क कम्प्लीट झाल्यानंतर तुम्हाला तुमच्या गाईडच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली, सो अंडर द गायडन्स ऑफ युअर corresponding supervisor or a guide, you should be work with him under the guidance of him or her. And after that, you should also be able to do some research work independently. That is the one common expectation from any PhD student or early career researchers. Okay. The next thing is that publishing is vital. Publishing is also very much important nowadays because it is one of the way to share your work with other researchers. आपण पब्लिकेशन करतो किंवा आपण वेगवेगळ्या कॉन्फरन्सेस वगैरे अटेंड करतो. याचं मेन एम काय असतं बघा. The main aim is that it is one of the way to share your work with other researchers. तुम्हाला एखाद्या वर्कशॉप मध्ये किंवा कॉन्फरन्स मध्ये तुमचं वर्क जर प्रेझेंट केलं तर त्या ठिकाणी तुमच्याच एरिया मधलं, इफ सपोज देर इज सम पर्सन हु इज वेल वर्स विथ व्हॉट एव्हर थिंग यू आर डुईंग, देन दॅट कॅन बी अ गुड प्लॅटफॉर्म to share your ideas with him or her, and that can give you a good collaborative research in your future career. Yeah, and this will help you to advance in a career and secure funding for the next research stage. Okay, so there are a number of things as far as publications are concerned. The first thing is that research article, then next is a review paper, then conference proceeding article and project. So these are these four things, whatever four things I mentioned. So whenever we are trying to submit our manuscript to any kind of a journal, first they are asking you whether your article is a research article or whether it is a review paper. There's one more avenue where you can publish your work or present your paper is a conference proceeding. And then last thing is a project. The most of you did a project during your MSc, but the project what I'm writing here is somewhat else. So projects there are some sort of a project called the minor research project or major research project given by different funding agencies like UGC, then DST, then SIR. By the way, UGC stands for University Grants Commission. They do support for your research. So for example, most of you might be getting the CSR net fellowship, the CSR net fellowship, or some people used to get the UGC fellowship. CSR stands for Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Then Department of Science and Technology also used to give a funding for pursuing the research via project. And SERB is also one more thing which used to come under DST, but SERB stands for Science and Engineering Research Board. So at each of them, what is important? The important thing is that research writing, or let's say paper. So this project part comes whenever you are applying for any major or minor project. So everywhere, what is important? The important thing is scientific writing of a paper, scientific writing of, let's say, a research paper or maybe a project. Okay, so that's why scientific writing of a research paper is very, very important, because once you complete your PhD and when you go for a job at any academic institution or let's say laboratory, doing the publish for your career advancement or let's say promotions, writing a research article or for own satisfaction or for doing some scientific discovery, writing a research article, then writing a review paper, presenting your paper in a conferences or getting a funding from different funding agencies is quite important. Some of you may be doing some of you may be working in the form of RA. You might be knowing what do you mean by RA. RA stands for research assistant. Research assistant is a terminology. What I mean by research assistant means, for example, if some professor is getting some, let's say, major research project from some funding agency, then in order to help him or her, there is a post of research assistant under which also you can pursue research. So everywhere, this scientific writing of a research paper is quite important. Okay, so now the question may come your mind. Okay, we want to do a scientific writing, then but how to proceed with the writing? Okay, so the first thing is that start writing early. without the constraints of considering the writing style and formatting the first version of the text. So first version of whatever your findings are there, that may be a rudimentary in nature. It may be a very primary stage, no problem. So while writing the any kind of a questions, any kind of a, article, you should ask the following questions. So for example, if somebody is belong to, let's say, social science kind of a stream, so you know that in a social sciences they used to prepare some questionnaire. सोशल सायन्स मध्ये काय करतात बघा, एका प्रकारची प्रश्नावली बनवतात. त्या प्रश्नावलीच्या माध्यमातून वेगवेगळ्या लोकांकडून त्यांची मतं जाणून घेतली जातात. त्याचं स्टॅटिस्टिकल अनालिसिस करतात आणि त्याच्याद्वारे बरेचसे संशोधनात्मक पेपर्स वगैरे लिहिले जातात. तर इन science also, before proceeding for writing a article, one should ask the following questions. So first thing is that the first question, what first question you should write, what is the main message of this work? So whatever work you are doing, what is the main motto or what is the main finding of that work, that you should able to ask this question. Then next is, why does it matter? That means whatever article you are writing, it should be appealing, okay, and why the reader should care. म्हणजे जे काही वाचक आहेत त्या आर्टिकलचे त्यांनी ते का वाचलं पाहिजे, that is also important. What is the next thing? Next thing is, how the main findings or data support the message. That is also one important kind of a question one should ask before writing the manuscript. Okay, so the next is the structure of the research article. So any research article, so let me just show you one research article which is some mathematical kind of research article. It is one of the research paper whose name is some bounds on binary LCD codes. So here you can just see that this is the name of a journal in which that article is published. This is cryptography and communications. This is the year, yeah. This is the volume, and these are the page numbers. Okay, so this is so let me just tell you a brief. So here the author names are being given. Then here some abstract highlights what is the essay. It is just I can just a synopsis of the work done in the whole paper. ज्या पूर्ण रिसर्च पेपर मध्ये जे काही केलं आहे, जे काही फाइंडिंग केलं आहे, त्याचा मेन मेसेज आहे तो जो असतो तो असतो ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये. देन हिअर द कीवर्ड्स, okay, then these are the mathematics or let's say subject classification. Then there is some sort of introduction, and there are some next your results, some definitions, some theorems, or your main findings. Okay, and if you belongs to, let's say, botany, zoology, or let's say computer science, some sort of tables, some sort of figures may also come. And at the end there is a conclusion, and there are some acknowledgements in the form of if your research is being supported by some funding agency. So most of you are knowing that that there are some funding agencies nowadays are called as you might be knowing some fellowships. For example, Mahajyoti fellowship is there, then Sarthi fellowship is there nowadays. Mahajyoti, Sarthi, then I think there is one more thing called as a Bharti. They're also giving financial assistance for carrying out the research. So if you are doing your PhD under the financial assistance of either Mahajyoti, Sarthi, Bharti, UGC, or whatever, it is your duty to acknowledge. So for example, you can just see that there is one author, JL Kim. He has been supported by basic research program through the National Research Foundation of Korea, funded by Ministry of Education. So since this author belongs to the country Korea, and he has been supported by one of the research foundation, he has acknowledged. And lastly, there are references. So this is the rough structure of any research paper. Even though it is a mathematical paper, it has close resemblance with any other research paper from any other stream. So you can just see there is a title. Yeah, so for example, we are just seeing that there was a title. So let me just show it once again. So here is a title. Okay, and after title there was an abstract. I told you already about the abstract. Then there are the keywords, then there is the introduction, then the experimental section. So experimental section is for those let's say for physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, and so on. As far as mathematics is concerned, there may be some theorems, lemmas, and propositions. Then there are some results and discussion, and at the end there's a conclusion. म्हणजे शेवटी आपण काय शोधले किंवा त्याचा सर्वात शेवटी त्याचा रिझल्टंट काय आहे, दॅट इज द मिनिंग ऑफ कन्क्लुजन. And the next is references. Reference, what do you mean by references? While doing this, so for example, let's see this, while publishing this paper or while writing this paper, whatever so let me just wait, yeah, okay, while writing this paper, whatever material or whatever earlier textbooks or whatever references, research papers or articles has been used by that author, those things used to come under references. So you can just see number of articles are there, near about 24 articles have been referred by this author in order to write this research paper. Okay, that I mean by references. And lastly, some other additional sections such as acknowledgements and author contribution. So for example, what I mean by author contribution, so for example, you might have seen or you may come across some research papers at the end of which it is being written like this. So for example, there are three authors, let's say X, Y, and Z. Then X might have given the main idea of the that corresponding paper. Then Y maybe assisted in a typing, then collection of data and so on, and that is also doing something. Yeah, such kind of thing also being required in some research papers. So that I mean by author contribution. कोणत्या ऑथरने काय काय केले त्या पेपर मध्ये ते पण काही काही जर्नल्स मागतात. So that is the meaning of author contribution. Okay. Yeah, so the next thing is abbreviations. So abbreviations are mean short form. So what I mean by so sometimes we may use some abbreviations, so we should explain what are those abbreviations. And next is statements and conflict of interest. Okay, so these are the additional sections which some journals may ask, some journals may not ask. Okay, so that I mean by this is the roughly the structure of any research article which comes under the purview of any paper which comes under sciences. Okay, so the next is what are the core steps in scientific writing. So each so whatever I am teaching you, that might come in a one of the paper whose name is, let's say, publication ethics. So nowadays there are three papers which are compulsory for any research scholar or any person who is pursuing research in our university. So there are three things. First is research methodology, next is computer application, and next is publication ethics. So most of the part which I am talking today might come under the publication ethics kind of a thing. So what are the core steps in scientific writing? The first thing, we should define the key message of the article and convert it into a tentative title that will evolve. Okay, but the first thing. The next thing is draft an outline of a key bullet points with the tentative title and authors. Okay, so next is select an appropriate journal for the article and adjust all the sections accordingly. So what I mean by this, once you prepared your article, just let's say for example you prepared your article like this. Okay, then you know each journal have its style. So for example, see, this is a cryptography and communication journal. Its style is like this. So its heading, a title will come over here, then authors names are coming over here. Sometimes you might have seen some papers where here authors names are given, then immediately after that they used to view their affiliations also. But in the case of this paper, they have given the affiliations at downstairs of the first page itself. But you can just see one more paper. So one more paper is like here. Yeah, so here you can just see that so the here also the style is different. Yeah, you can just see that here author name. So there in that earlier paper, abstract name was in a bold face, but the abstract name is not in a bold face. Here introduction word used to come at the center of a page. But in the earlier, you can just see this earlier paper, the introduction used to come, it is a left indented. Okay, so every journal has its style. Yeah, while publishing a paper, some journals may ask you to submit your article in the format which that journal have, but some may not ask. Yeah, but it's always good to uh, adjust all the sections of the paper accordingly as the choice of journal. Okay, journalचं जे टेम्पलेट आहे त्या जर्नलच्या टेम्पलेटमध्ये पेपर पाठवणं कधी चांगलं. Yeah. The next is write the experimental section of the article. That means summary of methods, materials, and main analysis. The next is illustrate the main outline points by figures that involve schematics and data obtained. So it's always good to give a so for example, even though I am a mathematics teacher, still and mathematics do not involve too much figures at the PG level or research level, still it is always good to give a diagrammatic representation of things so that the things will become more and more appealing. So the next is write the discussion that present the main findings and the figures of the article and refer to the appropriate references. Yeah, okay. And at the end, you should write the conclusion of the discussion that summarizes the findings. So whatever you did, or that summary or the conclusion, you should write at the end. Then after writing this, you should revise the article with respect to the language, format, consistency, and overall coherence. So this is the these are some 4 steps in scientific writing. The next is journal finding. So which journal we should choose? Okay, so let me just tell you, nowadays you might have heard one popular word. The popular word is this one. Popular word is what? UGC care. Yeah, UGC care. So it is being there is one circular. Let me just show you that circular. It is a circular of 14th June 2019 of UGC, which is talking about UGC care. Okay, by the way, this care stands for this one. So what is that? UGC full form of care is Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics. Okay, so it is expected that whatever research scholars are publishing their work, each such paper should come from UGC care list of a journal. UGC care list of a journal. So that is this. I can just circular. Maybe I will post it in a chat box so that later on you can just read this. So let me just show you how to identify the journal. So this is the web page. So how to go for this web page? So just go on a Google and just type down UGC care. As soon as you type down UGC care, it will redirect you to this page. This UGC care web page is being maintained by Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Yeah. So from here you can just search. So while submitting, once you prepare your research paper, it's always good to search a journal which is in UGC care list of a journal. So you can just see that there are some alerts. So for example, you can just see alert. What is this alert? List of clone journals. Yeah. So let me just tell you, clone means, yeah, the same kind of a copy of that journal is being prepared, and one should not publish his or her research in such kind of a journal. So let us first discuss where not to publish. So let me just click it over here. So that I will go to the new page, and is it takes me time to open. Okay, maybe, yeah. So this is that page. Yeah, this is that page. Okay, are you able to see the new page now? Yes. Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, let me just share this. Yeah, are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this is the list of clone journals. Yeah, yes. Okay, so you can just see that there is one journal whose name is Alochan Drishti. Yeah, this is the journal included in UGC care list. Yeah, but the same journal with the same name, with the same ISSN has been also there Yeah, you can just see clone journals, which is not included in UGC care list of journals. Okay, you can see there is one more journal whose name is Abru, which is in a care list, but which is not, but its same clone has been prepared, or I will just say copy, or let's say double roll. Yeah, the same sort of a journal is being prepared, which ISS is also same, but publishing in such kind of a predatory journals is we should avoid while doing so. This is the list. You can just see that list contains number of such journals. Yeah, so this list, there are near about 58 uh, journals which are being identified as a clone journals. Okay, so you should avoid yourself of publishing. So while doing while submitting your article for research publication, you should check whether your article or whether the journal with which you are going, yeah, is it a clone or not. If it is not clone, and if it is in this list, okay, so let me just show you which list I am talking about. So you can just see here on a UGC care web page, you need to prepare your account. It's very simple kind of a process. We just need to go ahead there. Since I already have an account, I already logged in. Here you can just see here there is one login button. You need to submit your details like your name, email ID, and so on and so on. Just prepare one. Just it's always good to have a account on UGC care this website. Okay, and how to identify a journal. So what you need to do, just see, you can just see here UGC care list group 1 kind of a journal. So what will I do? I will just click it over here. Once I click it, one more page will open. So let me just log out once and log in once again, so that because I don't know what is the problem is coming over here. It's take too much time to open. There may be some problem to this website. Okay, no problem. As soon as it opens, I will go ahead there and I will let you know about this. Okay. So what I'm saying, on UGC care website, they used to give the list of journals which are there in a UGC care list and which are cloned, which are being. There are some journals also of this form also. Okay, which form on that website itself? What they used to give. Suppose here is a let's say serial number. What I'm saying, serial number, then name of a journal, and there is a status. So on that UGC care page, what kind of a thing you will get? So for example, serial number. There's suppose name of a journal. Let's say ABC. Status means what? It is in UGC care list or not. So you may find out some journals which are discontinued, which are discontinued from, let's say, 2019 from UGC care list. Okay, and you may find out some journals name, let's say LMN, which are there in UGC care under the name of view. Okay, काही जर्नलचे नाव असे व्ह्यू असतात. व्ह्यूवर जर क्लिक केलं तुम्हाला कळतं की UGC केअर मध्ये आहे तर किती सालापासून आहे वगैरे वगैरे. So such kind of a thing, such kind of information you may get from that page of it's very important. So it's in India, at least it's always good to have your publication in UGC care listed of journal. So there are generally 2 types of journals, namely one is subscription based, another is open access. Okay, so what I mean by subscription based and what I mean by open access, I will let you know. So there are some journals which are electronic only. Okay, so there are some which are only soft copies are available. Some used to print hard copies also. Okay, so each journal has a different set of criteria which must be considered for submission. म्हणजे प्रत्येक जर्नलचे काय असतं, वेगळा फॉर्मॅट असतो, क्रायटेरिया वेगळा असतो, ज्याचा विचार करून आपण आपले आर्टिकल जे आहे ते तुमच्या रिसर्च जर्नी मध्ये आपण सबमिट केले पाहिजे. सो फॉर सबस्क्रिप्शन बेस, सो यू नो एव्हरीबडी nowadays you know what do you mean by subscription. So for example, currently a big event is going on, namely ODI World Cup. So one day international World Cup, and you know that all matches are streamed free of cost on Disney Hotstar. Yeah, free on, but they are free on mobile, but if you want to look at those things on a TV or let's say laptop, you need to have a subscription. Yeah, so I hope I given you a live example of subscription. So I hope what do you mean by subscription based kind of a journal. Okay, so let me just go further. So what I mean by this, for subscription based journals, article submission, peer review and publications are free. However, a subscription is required for full article access. म्हणजे आपला ते आर्टिकल जर वापरायचं असेल, रेफर कराय वाचायचं असेल वगैरे वगैरे तर त्यासाठी फीस घेतली जाते. ओके, submission to open access. Okay, submission to open access articles often requires the payment of an article processing charges. By the way, APC stands for article processing charges, but it involves full article access once published. म्हणजे एकदा आर्टिकल पब्लिश झालं की ते आपल्याला टोटली फ्रीली अवेलेबल असतं. Okay, so next is APC varies according to a journal. So some journal may charge some fees per page. Some journals may charge some another kind of a fees, or some journal may say that if your number of pages of your paper are, let's say 13 or 15, then something amount is there. If it is more than 15 and 20, then another amount is there, something like that. Okay, so that I mean by article processing charges. Okay, so choosing a journal. So this is the roughly a screenshot of whatever UGC care page I have talked to you. So careful journal selection, including the avoidance of pseudo journals. Pseudo journals means same sort of journals, just like pseudo journals means some sort of a clone journals. Yeah, it should be publication in a pseudo journals must be avoided. So for example, you can just see here. I have given you the screenshot where left hand side is talking about the print journals which are in UGC care, but it's clone journal or pseudo journals. They are there, publication in which it should be avoided. Okay, so that I mean by this one. Okay, so let me just go further. Then publication in an irreputable journal can hinder career advancement and negatively affect the research field. So for example, whatever UGC draft I have shown, yeah, the UGC draft, whatever I shown, it is also applicable to the research, to the teaching community. It says that if teacher also publishes in a pediatric journals, then it may affect his or her promotion. The same will be applicable to you people. Yeah, so therefore, in case of you, there is no promotion, but it might happen that your research journey may get stagnant. Yeah, that's why publishing in an irreputable journal should be avoided. Okay, so next is then how to choose a journal. So higher impact partner journals, commonly they used to target a more general audience and thereby request more accessible language. तर चांगल्यात चांगलं जर्नल आपण चूज करावं, जसं इम्पॅक्ट फॅक्टर चांगला असावा. इम्पॅक्ट फॅक्टर म्हणजे काय वगैरे वगैरे या गोष्टीकडे मी येईलच, बट इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू हॅव युअर पब्लिकेशन in a journals having good impact factor or high impact factor. Okay, so then there is one more thing called the referencing. Yeah, referencing, it should be as per journal guidelines. So there are number of publishers like a Springer publication, then Elsewhere publication, then Taylor and Francis, etc. Okay, there are a number of kind of references. For example, references. So while writing any research article, at the end of a research article, you might have seen that we have seen these references. So how to write down the references? So there are different styles. So for example, some may use a Vancouver kind of a referencing style. Some may use APA. Some journals may ask for MLA. Some journals may ask for Chicago, and some journals may ask for Harvard. I will let you know about this. Don't worry. So for example, let me just take this this article only. I will just take this article. I will just copy this article and I will paste in one page whose name is, let's say, I'll paste it in a Google Scholar. Okay, so Google Scholar, you need to go on a Google Scholars page, and on a Google Scholars page, I will just paste the name of that article. Okay, paste. So I have pasted it. Okay, now suppose you want to use this research article as a reference while writing down a research paper. तुम्हाला समजा ह्या आर्टिकलचा वापर तुमच्या रिसर्च मध्ये आहे आणि तुम्हाला याला साईट याला तुमच्या रेफरन्स मध्ये नाव लिहायचं आहे, तर त्याला काय करायचं बघा. सो यू कॅन जस्ट सी दॅट you can just go on this site button. Once you click, so in earlier days I also don't know that how to do it, yeah, but also attended to some of the lecture. I got this idea. In earlier days I used to write it manually. Okay, so what you need to do, just post the name of that article in a Google Scholar. Once you paste it in a Google Scholar, there is one button like site will come. Just click it on there. And you can just see that there is one style called the MLA style, then APA style, then Chicago, then Harvard and Vancouver. Yeah. So for example, you can just see that here the author names. So you can just see Galway JL and Kim JL. Okay. Lee Yen. So all names of the author have been written, including the initials. But here you can just see that only surnames have been written. Then the name of a article written in a inverted commas. There are no inverted commas over here. Then here you can just see that year of a publication is written at the end, but here you can just see that year of publication is written immediately after the name of the author. So these are the different referencing style: MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard and Vancouver. Okay, yeah, you can just go through it. Yeah. So that is the thing. So wait. Okay, so I was here. So this one more thing is there. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So these are the referencing style. These are the referencing style that I was talking about. Yeah, and I did it via Google Scholar. If time permits, I will also talk about this Google Scholar. But I hope some resource person must have talked about this. Okay, so I will not devote a time for this. Okay, so let me just go further. Yeah, so whatever I talked just now, I just taken a screenshot and I just given you, because at the end of my talk I will give you this PPT via Marathi sir, so that you can read it whenever you get the free time. Okay, so the next is research paper writing process. What is research paper writing process? So first is steps involved in this writing research paper. I already talked about this, so I will just go a little bit fast. So first, assignment clarification. So whatever you are doing, that assignment should be clear in your mind. And you should do a proper time management, so that whatever work you are doing, that should be completed within a stipulated amount of time. Okay, then you should have a brainstorming session with your research supervisor or maybe research colleagues, so that good understanding of that corresponding subject can be done. Then while doing the work, for some referencing purpose, you may need to visit some library, you may need to visit some big or institute of national importance in the field of science. Okay, then you should have outline your paper, then draft the paper and revise the paper. These are the steps involved again in the writing of a research paper. So let me just talk about some journal finder. So judge whether your topics falls under the scope of that subject or journal or not. So for example, let's say suppose you are doing your research in, let's say, algebra. By the way, algebra means Bijganit for those who don't know this higher mathematics. So like this, and suppose you are submitting your findings or your research article to a journal whose major focus is on geometry, then certainly they will return your article as it is. म्हणजे तुमचा जर पेपर असेल अल्जेब्रा रिलेटेड आणि तुम्ही ज्या जर्नल मध्ये जिओमेट्री रिलेटेड पेपर असतील त्याला जर सबमिट केला तर सर्टनली तुमचा तो पेपर रिजेक्ट करतील किंवा तुम्हाला तो परत पाठवतील. ओके, सो दॅट्स वाय you should judge whether your topic falls under the scope of that journal or not. Okay, so the next is discuss with your supervisor and experts in your field before submitting your article to journal. Yeah, the next is it's very important to submit your paper to a journal with a good impact factor, which is very important nowadays. And next is, if you do a wrong journal selection. So for example, I just talked about you, if your paper falls under algebra, and if you submit to a journal having geometry as a major scope, then it is just a wastage of time, and certainly they will return the article or they will reject the article. Therefore, this will be a failure in the publishing. Okay, so let me just tell you the next thing. This is the journal publication flow chart. What is this? So first thing, it is your new submission. It will be, once you submit, it will go through this flow chart. It is initial evaluation queue, then it is assigned to some editor. Yeah, if editor do not find it suitable at the first stroke, he will initially reject the paper. Yeah, then if editor finds it that it falls under the category of or scope of a journal, he will send it for a review process. Once it is being reviewed, it is sent to a second evaluation queue. Then again there is an editorial meeting. Then if editor is satisfied with that thing, it will be sent to publication. Then again it will be sent to a author for some let's say some revisions. If there are no revisions, they will send you for galley proof. Once galley proof is completed, at the end they will publish the paper. So this is the rough schematic diagram which will explains the publication process of your paper in a journal. Okay, so the next is research indexing. So as I mentioned, it's always good to send a paper to a journal which is indexed in nowadays either Web of Science or Scopus. Okay, so for example, this is a screenshot of one journal whose name is Applied Mathematical Letters. You can just see that it is abstract. Its index is in Zentrabelt Math, CIS, CMSI. But two things are very, very important. Two things are very, very important. They are this. So you can just see Web of Science and SCI as well as Scopus. Okay, so if your papers are in this kind of a databases, then you are supposed to be a good researcher nowadays. Okay, so let me just go for a next one. Then research metrics. By the way, let me just talk a little bit about the scope of a journal. Okay, scope. So for example, I go on a Google. Yeah, so on a Google, what will I do? I will just type down here, let's say one name of a journal whose name is cryptography, and let's say communications, cryptography and communications. Once I click it, the name of the journal is to come, and it will, once I click it now, it will redirect me to a page, home page of that journal. Okay, here you can just see that this is the official web page of a journal of a Springer. So editorial board is given, and here is aim and scope. So you can just see that once I click it, this is the aim and scope. That means which part of a mathematics is being covered by this journal. Okay, so the whole, so you can just see it takes care of some finite fields, the combinatorics. So these are the, whatever the bullets are being given, the bullets are the key areas that will fall under the scope of that journal. Okay, yes, so I hope there is no problem as far as this one. Then there are some submission guidelines. Okay, then ethics, then open access, then so on. Okay, so this is the official web page of journal whose name is Cryptography and Communications, which is published via Springer. Okay, now let me just go to the next. Next is impact factor. Yeah, so I remember during last or couple of years back, in your course of examination itself, they asked some questions, or whatever book is published, whatever book was available for studying publication ethics, there was a mention of impact factor, H index and IT index. So I thought that it is good to talk in front of you regarding this impact factor. Okay, the journal impact factor, why it is so important. Okay, the journal impact factor reflects the average number of citations to the recent articles published in that journal. Okay, and it is a measure of the relative importance of a journal within its field. So for example, if your journal has a good impact factor or high impact factor, then it is assumed that your work is of very good quality. Okay, the next is That's what I mentioned. High impact factor means your work is more important. Now, how impact factor is generally calculated? Okay, so I written already a definition over here, but let me just give you via one example. Okay, example. So example of impact factor calculation. So for example, you know that there is one journal whose name is Nature. For example, Nature has an impact factor of 41.57, or roughly let's say 42 in year 2017. So how to calculate the impact factor in the year 2017? It is just a division of two things. One is number of citations received in 2017 divided by public number of publications in 2016 plus number of publications in 2015. So while calculating impact factor of a journal in a, let's say, nth year, you need to take care in a denominator, you need to take care number of publications in the n-1th year plus n-2th year. That's why there is a 2016 is there and 2015 is there whenever we are calculating the impact factor of a journal in a year 2017. Yeah. So you can just see it has a 42, roughly 42 as an impact factor. Okay. This is a roughly impact factor calculation example. Okay. So what are the uses of impact factor? Impact factor judges a publication's quality or a prestige. That's what I told you. More is the impact factor, the more important is your work. Okay. It assess the academic productivity of you people. Okay. So for example, during your PhD tenure, if you can publish your article or research papers in a very good impact factor, then the chances of getting the postdoc in a very reputable university, or if you are doing some job, if you are a teacher and if you have published very quality work in a good impact factor journal, then certainly if you apply for some funding agencies, then the getting the funds for your research work, the chances of getting the funding for research work will be more and more. Okay, then it is one sort of indicator for authors to choose where to publish. म्हणजे impact factor जर चांगला असेल तर ते journal authors choose करतात. Okay, then it evaluates the author or journal's editor. The next thing, if journal is of good impact factor, then certainly your libraries used to purchase those, or they used to take the access of those journals for doing the collection. That is the uses of impact factor. But you know, every coin has two sides. Yeah, so just like there are some uses of impact factor, there may be some do's and don'ts, or there may be some limitations of impact factor. So what is the first limitation of impact factor? It reflects the journal rather than the article. Okay, so impact factor is associated with journal rather than the article. That is the first limitation. Impact factor vary from year to year. म्हणजे वर्षा परत्वे तो फरक होत असतो. So for example, I already given you a formula. Okay, it vary with time in numbers and ranking, and it can be manipulated. So for example, you might have seen number of journals which may be in our periphery, which may have impact factor to be 7.8, but none of them is in UGC care. Okay, आपल्या आसपास देखील तुम्हाला काही जर्नल सापडतील ज्यांचा इम्पॅक्ट फॅक्टर 7.8 आहे, 8.9 आहे किंवा 10 आहे वगैरे वगैरे, पण त्यातलं एकही जर्नल UGC केअर मध्ये नाही. ओके, सो that's what I'm saying. It can be manipulated also. Okay, so let me just go for next thing. So alternatives for impact factor. That means what? Even the journal to which you are supposed to submit your article do not have a good impact factor, but still you can look at the editor's reputation. So for example, suppose I want to submit my article to a let's say to a journal which is devoted to algebra and whose editor is a very big person in the field of algebra, then certainly I will go with that journal. Okay, that is the first thing. Okay, the next thing is that editorial standards. Okay, that is also important. Then the time from acceptance to publication. So there are some journals which may not have a good impact factor, but still those are in UGC care, or let's say Web of Science, or let's say Scopus, and they used to take very less time for publication. So you should also think in that direction. The next is acceptance and rejection rate. That is also important. which is one of the important alternative for impact factor. Okay. The next thing is H index. Okay. So what is H index? So H index is the largest. So for example, let me just show you. So for example, let's see. So here we will take one author whose name is J.L. Kim. I'll just type down his name on a Google. So J.L. Kim, I will just say mathematician. Okay, so there is a mathematics person, so I'll just use it here. So maybe let me just instead of doing this, I will just yeah, this is J.L. Kim. Okay, yeah. So this is the official Google Scholar page of this J.L. Kim. Okay, John Lark Kim. Here you can just see that citations, whatever citations are issued till date, citations since 2018. Then there are two terminologies called H index and I-10 index. Each H index is 24 and I-10 index is 14. Now the question may come to your mind, what is this H index and I-10 index? So by the way, since I am on this page, let me just tell you about this page. Suppose now here this paper is published in 2017. Suppose instead of looking at this one, you want to see a recent paper, just go on this year button and click it. Once you click it, you can just see that it will be this thing will become descending. Okay, so that means उतरत्या क्रमाने येतं बघा या ठिकाणी 2023 चे पेपर मग 2022 चे पेपर वगैरे वगैरे वगैरे. So that is also one more thing which is important. Now let me just go for what I mean by H index and I-10 index. Okay, so what is H index? H index is the largest number H, so that H articles have at least H citations each. Okay, so what I mean by this, हा सर्वात मोठ्यात मोठा नंबर आहे. कसा की त्याचे सर्वात मोठ्यात मोठा नंबर H, की त्यातले H आर्टिकल्सला कमीत कमी H सायटेशन असतील, म्हणजे H वेळेस ते रेफर केलं असेल. So let me just ask you a question. Okay, suppose there is an author which has how many publications? Which has 5 publications. So let's say it has one author, let's say whose name is X. Suppose that author has, let's say, 5 publications with citation. So first publication, so let's say first publication, paper number 1 has 9 publication, paper number 2 has 7 publication, paper number 3 has 6 publication, paper number 4 has 2 publication, and paper number 5 has, let's say, one citation. Okay, paper number 1 has 9 citation, paper number 2 7, paper number 3 6 citation, paper number 4 2 citation, paper number 5 is 1 citation. Okay, so then question may come to your mind, then what is the author's H index? The author's H index काय असेल? So any guess from you people? Yes, you read already a definition. So this was the definition. So let me just ask you a thing. So can H index will be 9? Yes, it cannot be. Why? Because for H index, this H is fixed. Yes or no? I should have those many publications. I don't have 9 publications. Am I right or not? I only have 5 publications. So certainly 9 cannot be an H index. Similarly, 7 cannot be an H index. Why 7 cannot be an H index? Because I require those many publications. And this author, say X, has only 5 publications. So next, can 6 be a H index? No, 6 cannot be H index. So next is, can 5 be H index? 5 can be. Yeah, let's see. So it has 5 publications. Yeah, but I require 5 number of papers which have 5 publications each. Now you can just see that. Now you can just see that these are more than 5 citations. These are more than 5 citations. These are more than 5 citations. So there are only 3 papers which has more than 5 citations. So 5 cannot be also the H index. Now next is, can 4 be H index? It cannot be. Yeah, why? Because this paper number 1 has more than 4 citations. Paper number 2 has more than 4 citations. Why? Because there are 7 citations. Paper number 3 has 6 citations, so they are more than 4. But next paper have only 2 citations. So again, 4 cannot be a H index. Now what is after 5, 4? Who is to come? 3 is to come. So what I require at least I require 3 publications yeah, which have 3 citations each, or at least 3 citations. You can just see that first publication have 9 citation, second publication has a 7 citations, which is greater than 3, and third paper also have 6 citations, which are greater than 3. So there are, I could find 3 papers which have at least 3 citations. Therefore, H index of this author is 3. Okay, so I hope you got it. If you have any difficulty, feel free to ask me so that I can explain you again. Okay, so also given the reason over here, you can just see reason is since the author has 3 publications with 3 or more citations. However, the author does not have 4 publications with 4 or more citations. So this is more mathematical kind of a definition. Okay, so next is what I mean by I-10 index. Okay, I-10 index. So let me just give you one example. So for example, you can just see I-10 index of this author J.L. Kim is 48. It means that his 48 publications have more than 10 citations. So remember I-10, in I-10 there is one number whose name is 10. Yeah, even you can, if you go over here, you can just see the automatic definition used to come. Yeah, see, I'm just taking my cursor to there and I'm just removing. So you can just see there's one thing is coming. I-10 index is the number of publication with at least 10 citations. Okay, so म्हणजेच काय बघा, ह्या ऑथरच्या 48 पब्लिकेशनला कमीत कमी 10 citations आहेत. That I mean by I-10 index. Okay, so let me just go further. So that's how written I-10 index, the number of publications with at least 10 citations. So let me just ask you a simple question. So the question is like this: for instance, if a researcher with I-10 index 3, एखाद्या रिसर्चरचा I-10 index 3 असेल, म्हणजेच काय, त्याच्या 3 पब्लिकेशन्सला 3 आर्टिकल्सला कमीत कमी 10 वेळेस साइट केलेलं असावं. ओके, that I mean by I-10 index. So these are the general metrics which are very, very important. Which are they? The first one was what where we are talk. One was impact factor. Then next is H index, and next is what? I-10 index. So these are very, very important. Very, very important. There are some other metrics also, but these 3 are more and more important. Okay, so the next thing I would like to talk about brief introduction to mathematical tools for carrying out research. So software are there to do mathematical computations. So even though you are from, let's say, a life sciences discipline. So life sciences means suppose you are coming from, let's say, botany, zoology, or let's say microbiology or whatever. Yeah, still if you whatever thing you did, okay, if you support it with, let's say, some maths, or let's say stats, let's say some tables, let's say some figures, or let's say some statistical analysis, or let's say some statistical analysis, then certainly getting your article published in a good high impact factor journal will be more and more. Okay, जर तुम्ही तुमच्या संशोधन करत असताना जर तुमच्या संशोधन कार्याला गणित, सांख्यिकी किंवा सांख्यिकी विश्लेषणाची जर जोड दिली, तर निश्चितच तुमचं जे काही पब्लिकेशन आहे ते चांगला इम्पॅक्ट फॅक्टर मध्ये किंवा चांगल्या जर्नल मध्ये होण्याचे चान्सेस वाढतात. ओके, सो फॉर दॅट पर्पज आय एम टेलिंग यू सम व्हेरी व्हेरी इझी टूल which are freely available to do such competition. So maybe some calculations, maybe some we want to do some calculations, or let suppose you want to do some graphs. So such softwares are there which will make all this work, and they are freely available. Okay, so what can be done with those softwares? So first software that I would like to talk about is what it is called as a Scilab, or it is roughly it is called as the short form of scientific laboratory. It is called as a scientific laboratory. There are some softwares called MATLAB, but they are paid. MATLAB is paid, and there is one more software called as Mathematica, which is quite popular nowadays, but again it is paid. That's why I'm talking about free softwares. In short, they are called as a FOSS. FOSS stands for free and open source software. This F stands for free, O stands for open, yes stands for source, and S stands for what? Software. It is quite important short form. because nowadays they used to ask in a first paper of net set also. Okay, that's why you should keep it in mind. So what can be done with this software? The first thing you can do is what you can do the you can plot the graph. Yeah, whatever your findings are there, you can plot them. So for graphical uses, this is very important. Next thing, you can do a calculations. Next, you can do a statistical analysis also. Similarly, you can perform the modeling and simulation, etc. So this is the link which I given over here. I will give this presentation to you so that later on you can click on this link and you can just get access to this Scilab software. We go on. Let me just suppose you want to learn this Scilab. Let me just tell you one avenue via which you can learn it freely. So what will I do? I will just go on Google and I will just type down one website whose name is Spoken Tutorial. Okay, what is this website? Are you able to see the new page? Yes. Tell me, please. Are you able to see the home page of? Yeah. So this is Spoken Tutorial. What is spoken? It is a project of IIT Mumbai, and you can just see number of softwares are being given at there. The training of the softwares is given in online mode in number of different languages. For example, right now I'm talking about one software whose name is Scilab. Okay, so let me just go on. You can just see number of C things. So for example, Scilab. Yeah. So 35 videos of Scilab are available freely in languages. Which languages? Assami language, Bengali, English, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Khasi, Malayalam, Marathi. Let me just click on a Marathi and I will just click it on a search button. Okay. Once I click it on a search button, it will redirect me to a C. For example, you want to you want to drop 2D graphs. You can just click it over here, and there are some slides, and they also you can just see click over here so that the video will be played in a Marathi.
प्लॉटिंग 2D ग्राफ्स वरील पाठात कमांड्स कट आणि पेस्ट करण्यासाठी एक रेषीय बिंदू असलेला रो वेक्टर आहे.
Okay, are you getting? So this is the page where you can learn any software which is being listed over here. So let me just go once again on this. Let me just tell you how to go it once again. So what I typed here Spoken Tutorial. Okay, then I go on over here. Then you can just see number of courses. For example, advanced C language, then some Audacity kind of a software, or Bash, then some biogas plant. I also don't know, but maybe Professor Marathi or maybe somebody from life sciences may be knowing this. Then BioPython, Blender, Bootstrap, then number of them, then Chem Collective for chemistry. So number of such softwares are there which can be indispensable tools while carrying out your research. Okay, so that's why I thought that it's good to share with you. Okay, so let me just go further. There's a one software. I urge all of you to learn this software. The next is one more software whose name is LaTeX. It is a typesetting software. So it is a software which is again FOSS. FOSS means FOSS. So it is free and open source software. Okay. So what is this? This is useful for mathematical and special symbols. So for example, you know that if you want to type down integration in, let's say, Word, it's quite difficult. Or suppose you want to do some alignment of some object like ax plus b divided by, let's say, a plus b by d plus e by square root of something. Let's say if you want to do this while using Microsoft Word, will be a quite Herculean task. So for that purpose, it's always good to learn LaTeX. It is useful for mathematical and special symbols. Again, it can be downloaded via this website. One more thing, you can use it online via one more very useful website whose name is Overleaf. Again, the training of LaTeX generally nowadays I see in the campus. So physics students use it, chemistry students use it, then stats, and then maths. All of them are using it, and always LaTeX have a number of advantages over Microsoft Word and others. So I urge all of you to use this software. So again, if you want to learn it, again go on a spoken tutorial. You can just see there are some videos about LaTeX. Yeah, you can just see LaTeX. Yeah, so LaTeX is there. Then you can just see in Marathi also there are only 9 number of videos. Within 9 videos, each video you will be of, let's say, 10 to 15 kind of uh, time duration. You can write a report, you can write letter, you can do mathematical typesetting, you can type down equation easily, you can insert tables and figures, then you can do paper, you can just do the PPT presentation. So whatever PPT presentation I did, you can just see this PPT presentation. I have used this LaTeX software. I use this LaTeX software. So you can also prepare such presentations using LaTeX. Then how to arrange bibliography, then and so on. So only 9 videos are there, and they will be useful for beginners. Okay. So I urge all of you to learn them also. Okay. So next is usefulness of online courses like SWAYAM and NPTEL for research. Okay. So why these courses are useful? So you can just see that there's one recent letter issued by our PG section. So you might have came across this letter. So I hope this letter is visible to all of you. So what they are doing, what is being written at there, let me just make it big. The letter is of 9th of May. What it says, if you want to so what it says, if you can earn the credit, you can earn the credit of your PhD coursework from SWAYAM NPTEL. So what is the SWAYAM NPTEL? And there are 3 papers: research methodology, research and publication ethics, and computer application. Even part 2 is there, under which you need to earn some credit under the guidance of your research guide. You can just see part 2 मध्ये संशोधक मार्गदर्शन सुचवलेला विषय स्वयं एनपीटीएल अंतर्गत पूर्ण केला असल्यास त्या संबंधित विषयाच्या परीक्षेमधून सूट देण्यात येईल. That means what? You can earn this credit via this SWAYAM NPTEL also. So what is this SWAYAM NPTEL? Let me just elaborate in a brief, and you can just find out this SWAYAM NPTEL as a indispensable tool for carrying out your work. So what is this? I will just go on a SWAYAM, and whatever 2 papers are there, introduction to research or like that, you can also learn it from there. So this is the official web page of a SWAYAM, and here you can just go and just type down I think research methodology, research.
Hello.
Sorry. Yeah, sir. Wait. The internet problem was there.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Yeah, I will come. Good.
Okay, sir. Okay, no problem.
Mhm. Yeah. So is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
With the
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So there is one course called as research ethics. Yeah. And I think whatever I talked about the research methodology, it's yeah, research methodology. There is one MOOC course. There are a number of MOOC courses, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of courses are there. But I would suggest the course of this NPTEL is quite important. Even ebooks of such things are available. So already the dates of these courses have gone. So, but forget about that. What I'm saying, so let me just give an example of number of students from my department, what they did. So for example, let's say, suppose somebody wants to do research in, let's say algebraic geometry. Yeah. So what I'm saying, suppose someone to do some research in, let's say, one subject whose name is, let's say, algebraic geometry. Then you know that algebraic geometry. What is the name of subject? Let's say algebraic geometry. Then this subject is rarely taught at PG level, and therefore not enough material of this subject is available in our most of the university departments. But enough material about such kind of a thing can be available on this SWAYAM and NPTEL platform. Yeah. So this can be used by you people in order to solve your doubts, because once you enroll for these courses, there is one platform called as a discussion forum, via which you can interact with the professors from IIT and IISc. Yeah, they used to answer your doubts. So it can be a good learning platform for you people for research also. So that's why you can just say that several new avenues can be found out. You can understand the basic concepts, and you can learn different softwares also. So for example, I talked about the Sage software. So for Sage software is not yet available on, let's say, spoken tutorial. मी जी वेबसाईट तुम्हाला सांगितली स्पोकन ट्युटोरियल, त्याच्यावरती सेज बद्दल काही नाही. But on this NPTEL platform, you can learn this Sage software. So this platform can be useful for your research too. So I have given here the link via which you can access this thing also. Okay. Now let me just talk about some more things. The things are like this. Okay. So let me just talk about one website whose name is Saheb. What is the next thing is Saheb. So let me just type down here. I'm talking about Saheb, which is very, very important for researchers nowadays. Why this Saheb? Saheb is a website via which you can download research papers, most of the research papers. So for example, let's see, suppose there is one paper, let's say this paper. Okay. This paper is there. What is the name of this paper? Name of this paper, New Bounds for Linear Codes of Covering Grade 2 and 3. Suppose you are not able to download this paper from your laptop or from your mobile. So what you need to do, just find out its DOI number, DOI. So you can find out DOI number over here. Let me just go for that. There is one number whose name is DOI number. So where is that? Where is that? Yeah, wait, it's come back. Yeah, you can just see here there is one DOI number. Just copy this link. Yeah, copy this up to this. Yeah, and then this is Saheb. Just click it over here. Okay, and enter that DOI number. Just paste it over here. Okay, once you click it, you will get that whole paper downloaded over here. Okay, so this is one tool via which you can download most of the papers, but not recent. That means now you are in 2023. You may not able to find paper which is published in January 2023, but most of the recent papers till December 2020 papers download करता येतात. Now one more website which I would like to share with all of you is this one. What is the name of that website? The name of that platform is LibGen, or it is called as a Library Genesis. This is for books. This is for books. So for example, let me just go on this. What will I do? On a Google, I will just type down LibGen. Yeah, just click it on this libgen. Yeah, and suppose I want to find out some books of, let's say uh, algebraic geometry, let's say algebraic geometry. So just click it over here, or whatever name of a book that you know. You can just see number of, so there are how many pages are open. So 25 pages are there, which each page contains number of books on that corresponding subject. What is my subject? Algebraic geometry. And once you go over here, you can click on that and freely you can download the book. So this libgen as well as this Sci-Hub, these are indispensable tools for you people for getting most of the things in what way. So for example, as far as Sci-Hub is concerned, you can download research papers, and from here you can download the books. Okay, so so that's it from my side. If you have any query, feel free to ask me. So over to sir. कोणाला काही शंका असतील तर विचारा. You may ask me in Marathi, English or Hindi, whatever.
So, participants, the topic is open for discussion. If you have any difficulties, please ask, because it is very important point topic, which is related with your research paper publication and all these things. So it is very, very useful not only for this PhD coursework, but also for your entire PhD tenure. So if you have any difficulties, please ask. तुम्हाला काही difficulties असतील तर विचारा. Yes. So I think no difficulties are there.
Okay.
So I must express my gratitude towards Dr. Nitin Darkunde, sir. Sir has very well explained about the research paper, how we can publish paper, from where we can cite the paper, and all these things which is related to the research publication. So it is very important topic for our students, not only for their this theory examination, but also for their entire PhD tenure. So whatever the information you have given, it is very, very important for our students, sir. So thank you, sir, on behalf of all the participants and behalf of Research Committee, Science College, Nanded. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me a chance. Thank you to you as well as Dr. Kishore Gaikwad, sir, for giving me this chance. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
I think we will stop here. We will meet at tomorrow in the morning session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.